right, guys, welcome back to our cryptocurrency, all things blockchain quiz show. The questions are kind of fun, but really this is a space where we get to know personalities in this particular sector. I am delighted today to be inviting Coach K into the hot seat. Coach K is a project advisor, an entrepreneur, an analyst, a guy that's been in Bitcoin and crypto since 2013. He's most active right now on X. You can follow him at Coach K Crypto. And this is a guy that we've been wanting to speak to for a very long time. He's known for being, I guess you could say, outspoken, speaking his mind. And that's a good thing, believe me, in this particular space. I'd argue a good thing in general, better to be candid and real. So let's see how the crypto knowledge stacks up. Let's get to know him a little bit. Hey, Coach K, so great to have you here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's always fun to do a little trivia, see what I remember, what I don't. You know, it's been a long time. I feel like I've been in this industry. If you've been here like 11 years, you've been here 33 years or whatever. You've been here a long time. You go through all the emotional stuff. And then, yeah, so I've done everything in crypto in this space, pretty much from like being a key opinion leader to working with the projects to building the tokenomic models to helping people realize high FTV and low circulating supply is a bad thing. Inflating your token is a bad thing. So working with a lot of projects and just like using my knowledge of how numbers should make sense and kind of putting things together with economy, and that you need revenue to actually, have a token that does something, value, and actually can hold its value, because otherwise people just hold it for speculation. And really think about this industry as an industry and a business instead of, just like all the meme coins, which are fun too. We all love them too. But, what's the real stuff? What's the things that's going to solve problems for us and make things easier and faster? More efficient.
All right, Coach K. So that's a pretty good segue, actually. Speaking of meme coins, we got a logo identification here for you. Guess the following logo. What project does this belong to? Is it A, Brett, B, Brett AI, C, Mogcoin, or D, Meowcat?
This is a really hard one, guys. I don't know. Have no idea. Do I get lifelines in this show? Do I get a quote of friends? No? Okay. I'm going to go with Brett. Final answer. Yes.
Okay, so, we're talking a little bit before the show. Maybe like meme coins, NFTs are not your favorite thing in the world necessarily, and I'm on the same wavelength, believe me, but you're absolutely right. We're going to get into some of those topics in just a moment, but, on the subject of meme coins, I guess you could argue that there's been this resurgence. You look at the trajectory that Solana's had in the last year and a half. Just open-ended question. I mean, how do you see this space developing? Are you a fan of it? What are your general thoughts?
I mean, where you have meme coins, you have a lot of scams. So it really depends on who's behind them, if there's a reputable teams, if they're, not just hiding behind an identity where they could just rug pull and then no one really knows who's scammed you. And so, it really is a reputational industry right now with that side of it. And I think if you work with the right people that have the right intentions, even if it doesn't work out, people aren't going to be mad. So it's really about, not rug pulling your community, trying to build something that's actually going to keep people's attention and continue to grow, like what SHIB did. And, if you're going to work with those types of memes, they're going to be fun and they're going to be things that make you laugh. And that's kind of like your gamble, your casino money, right? You go into those things, you put in $300 into SHIB at the bottom last cycle, you make, $30 million at the top. So I think that you don't have to be greedy with those things. And I think memes can always be fun. And I mean, if you're going to go and play on a sports betting online gambling site, you're probably going to lose more often those ways. So if you're thinking about it from that perspective, you're going to put $100 into a gamble. I mean, you hit a meme coin, you make a lot of money, way more than a jackpot or getting the right teams that win on the,
for sure,
all the football games in the week, right? So that kind of stuff.
Business 101, do not rug pull your community, right?
Yes, don't rug pull your community, do the right intentions, and obviously if you're going to do it, like be willing to lose a lot of your own personal money too. Because if you're doing it right, you're going to risk money to actually make the project work. You're not just going to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to raise a bunch of money and then just like scam people. No, it's usually the best memes are guys who are in the space already, have money, they support it early with their own capital, and they actually push the project. And that's a much better, method, I would say, than going and raising a bunch of money and thinking a meme coin is just going to like hold its value. You really need something behind it to actually drive revenue, or it doesn't really have that much value for a long time.
Coach K, off to a great start. Okay, we're going to shift now into NFTs. With question 2 here, I'm going to ask you who is credited with selling the first tweet on Twitter as an NFT. Was that A, Jeff Bezos, B, Elon Musk, C, Jack Dorsey, or D, Tim Cook?
The first one to sell a tweet. It has to be Jack Dorsey. I think it's Jack Dorsey.
Jack Dorsey, final answer?
Yeah, I'm going to go Jack. I feel
yeah,
like
you're absolutely right. So you're 2 for 2, right. Coach K. I guess you could argue a pioneer of the NFT space, I suppose. I have my own thoughts about NFTs. We've kind of talked about this offline. You have your own thoughts about NFTs. You're, like I said, a free thinker. You speak your mind, and I applaud you for that. Like, what's I asked you about the state of the meme coin sector a moment ago. Let me ask you about the state of NFTs. What do you think about this technology, the way it's been used, positive or negative? I just want to pick your brain here.
I mean, we went from profile pictures, which probably at some point will come back a little bit again. But I don't think I think people got really burned out with those and realized they weren't really that valuable, right? Like, who's going to spend $1 million for a picture? Now, some people will do it. It's kind of like an inner cult thing of like status, right? But
oh yeah,
then I worked with Eternity where we're going to authenticate NFTs. So we did like Pele's NFTs and we did NFTs for like Shaq and Messi. Those became collector's items. That actually kind of makes a lot of sense because trading cards lose value over time because they you put them in the wrong community and it gets ruined and then it's not worth as much. So this kind of like keeps the value if it's an NFT, right? And it's connected to the actual real person. You can prove it. So that's a really cool use case. Like, I mean, putting valuables into like vaults that are tradable by NFTs. So you can just have a watch and want to sell it and it's in a Brinks vault and you can swap it with someone else. So there's projects doing that, like using Brinks vaults. And that makes a lot of sense too. So, and then you see things like mortgages, right? Like if you put a house or you buy a house and you have a mortgage and everything that you do in the house gets recorded on your NFT. And when you sell your property, it has like all the renovations inside. So everything that's actually been going on, all the floods, if there's issues, you'd have all that transparently in a document, which is, immutable. So that's a pretty interesting concept, I think. But yeah, I think we haven't seen what NFTs actually should be doing yet. From that perspective, I think RWAs haven't really come out yet. We haven't really seen.
I agree. We've seen a lot of JPEG speculation. At least that's been the most prominent kind of like manifestation, and it hasn't sold me personally. But there's a lot of potential.
It was a great way to money launder. Let's be honest. Like, guys were like, "Oh, I can like buy this Beeple thing and then like money launder like $50 million through like buying this thing and then it losing all its value and oh no." And there's more to those stories always. Like they don't make any sense. They were ridiculous. So I think, and you see that in art as well right now, like forever pretty much. So was it used for that? Probably some people. I don't know. Was it always used for that? Probably not. But it was kind of sus when you're seeing like all the apes selling for $1 million to Justin Bieber. I'm like, you're paying $1 million? What do you get for that $1 million? You get a JPEG? That didn't make any sense. That was crazy.
All right, Coach K, another visual identification question here. Who is the following individual? As you can see on screen here. Is this A, Chris Marcellik of Crypto.com, B, Elon Musk, C, Michael Saylor, or D, Changpeng Zhao?
Well, let me be honest with you right now. I know 3 of the 4, and I know that these eyes don't belong to any of them unless I'm blind. So I'm going to go with A. Chris.
Chris
Final answer.
Marcellik.
Yes.
Final answer.
Final answer.
Hey, look, I mean, no shame in process of elimination logic because you're absolutely correct. So, yeah, well done, Chris Marcellik, who heads up crypto.com. That's exactly the right answer. So, yeah, I would argue as well that he's a little bit less notable than Elon Musk, much less notable, let's be honest. Michael Saylor. These guys are kind of evangelists, I would say, of the space, right? Of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency more broadly. They tend to give it a lot of advice. They have a lot of devotees, a lot of followers. If you were to, and you often do, you often coach people, you often educate people that are coming into the space, into crypto for the first time. What are your main pillars of advice if you were to share one or two?
When you come into the space, if you come in at the right time, the most important thing to understand is that you're not as smart as you think you are. So don't fool yourself because you're the easiest person to fool. It's very important to know that. That being said, we're going probably into a bull market. So when you start making easy money and it's really easy and you make a lot of it, cash it out, put in some of it into a different account that you don't even have, like Ethereum or BNB or whatever you're saving the USDT on. You just chuck it away in that and you forget about that account. And then still trade and do everything else. But be smart and make sure that you exit the market with actual money because a lot of people make that mistake. So make sure to take profits. Don't be greedy. And learn when you're showing everyone and your mom and your sister and your girlfriend and your friends and everyone in your family how great you are as a trader, to have everyone remind you that you should be selling at that point because at that point you're in euphoria. So teaching yourself how to manage your emotions is probably the most important thing, I would say, to make it in any trading capacity and any markets at all. And it's about understanding a strategy and executing on it. So learn risk management 101. I mean, don't risk more than you can afford to lose. And you'll live to see another day when things are bad. So, yeah.
All right, Coach K, you are 3 for 3. You're off to a great start. Maybe this will be a little bit harder for you. I don't know. We'll see if you can be stopped. Question 4 here. What is the price of the most expensive ever NFT that has been sold till date? Is it A, $80 million, B, $91.8 million, C, $69 million, or D, $45.6 million?
Say the first two again.
A was $80 million,
80?
and B, $91.8 million.
And C was 69 something?
C was $69 million.
I'm going to go with 80 million.
Final answer?
Final answer.
We finally got you. The correct answer was $91.8 million.
Oh,
so that's okay.
Wow.
You're a human being, right? It's we've proven that.
Hey, I wasn't big in the NFT side of that, so I admitted that last cycle. I was like, man, I'm good at what I'm good at, but NFTs was just too much for me to handle. Well, I mean, you can't, this is a really good piece of advice for people to also understand that you cannot be good at absolutely everything. You can't be a good trader, an investor, an NFT trader, and you just don't have enough time to master them all, and you're going to miss a lot of the opportunities if you're trying to do too much, right? So
True.
Don't throw the spaghetti at the wall. Do two things really good and just focus on those things, right? So if you're a good trader, focus on trading. If you're a good investor, invest and trade. Those are your two skills. Don't do other stuff other than that.
Okay, next question. Which of the following Telegram games has the highest number of users? A, Notcoin, B, Catizen, C, TapSwap, or D, Hamster Combat?
I'm going to go final answer, Notcoin.
Final answer, Notcoin?
Yep.
I got it. It's unfortunately Hamster Combat, Coach K. So we'll put up the exact numbers here as of this publication, exactly what they are. But yeah, Hamster Combat has come out of nowhere. It's just a space that's kind of taken the market by storm. I don't know if you're a gamer.
It's just like Roblox on your kid's phone, man. It's like Roblox. They're just tapping on the phone like, what are you doing? I'm getting stronger, Dad.
It's intense. It's really intense if you watch somebody play, for sure. I know. Do you partake? Is that part of your world?
Oh, it's a lot of time to spend tapping on your phone. I feel like it's carpal tunnel. Like this is in the making. Like someone's definitely using a bot. Like, come on, let's be honest.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. Coach K, which platform was the very first to introduce decentralized finance or DeFi applications? First platform to do so. Was that A, Polygon, B, Ethereum, C, Bitcoin, or D, Solana?
Ethereum.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not one that I guess you should think too hard about, you know.
No,
But
I was like, no, this is very easy.
almost tried to give you a trick question there in terms of like the simplicity, right? Make you overthink it, but no, you could be fooled. Look, Ethereum has its issues these days. You know, all of a sudden it's inflationary again. We've been covering that as of late on the channel. Some would argue that it hasn't lived up to its promises technically in a lot of ways. What are your thoughts about the state of Ethereum, whether that's DeFi or otherwise?
I mean, it's got an ETF, so
Is that a good thing? Has that lived up to the hype?
No, it never does. Like, I remember the CME when it launched. I was like in Spain in Mallorca at a conference, and it launched, and it was like 7 Bitcoin volume the first day. And like, it takes time, man. Like, just takes a bit of time. So, I think you know, once the market starts going back up, and we start seeing like, you know, that typical rise from October to April, like, you know, ETH is going to rise with Bitcoin, and then when everyone's trying to buy it and retail come in and they see it going up and they're buying it, it's just going to cause it to go, you know, deflationary again. And then depending on how much it goes, like how much money comes into the market, could be like $3-5 trillion, right? If we look at like growth from prior cycles. So, you know, if we 3x from here, it's like $6 trillion. That would be a hell of, like 4 trillion more from where we're at right now. There's a lot of rich people that I know. Yeah. You'll be one of them. I'll be one of them, much richer, because that is a hell of a lot of money if you're in the right stuff.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Yeah. So it sounds like you're kind of cautiously optimistic. You know, we've been talking about that as well. You recognize the fact that it does take some time for these instruments to mature, for the market to mature along with them and embrace them. And I tend to agree. Still kind of underwhelming, still kind of disappointing, obviously, at the moment. But yeah, I'm a little bit more optimistic about the trajectory here.
Yeah, honestly, you shouldn't even worry about right now where we're at, because if you go back 4 years, we're pretty much at the same part of the cycle. Like, it's just everyone forgets because it's such a long time, and there's like all this news swaying you, and you forget that, oh yeah, I just have to wait a couple more months and we'll be in a bull market. But you know, they're gonna slam it down hard now, and you're gonna kind of be panicky because you're like, you don't want to lose. You don't want to lose. You're like, I'm scared to lose now, and then you sell the bottom.
Yeah.
And that's what happens to retail like every single time, right? So there might be like a flash crash, like we had that last Sunday on like what's 49, right? It might go to 44 or 48 or something and drop even like lower out of nowhere, right? And they'll crazy, like people will sell like crazy, be scared. People will get wiped out from their, you know, from their longs, right? And then boom, that'll be a spark for the start of the bull run. So. And that will probably go coinciding with the rate cuts. Rate cuts will come, money will print, markets will dump, then we'll pump. That's what I'm expecting. Like, and that's, you know, if you're patient, it's pretty much like, you know, 6 weeks away. Not too long.
Hopefully, yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, it's not too long. Remember, I like this stat because most people forget. We went from $300 billion in October last cycle. The same October as we're coming up to 4 years ago, right? We're literally where we went from 330 billion to 2.5 trillion in 6 months. So like, if you think about the growth in the market, if we do something similar this cycle, even half that, you know, you're at 6, 7, 8, 9 trillion dollars. That's massive.
That is a great stat and a really good perspective as well. We do have to be like, even, you know, myself in the space, it's like, I got to be reminded of that. It's like, yeah, you're right. That's incredible to think back and just, reminisce about that, because it is easy to forget.
So why journaling is really important. Like if you trade and you don't like write notes, that you can go back and go, wow, 4 years ago, this is how I felt like ICOs were dead right now. I literally read some stuff from like a couple weeks ago, behind us right now from 4 years ago. I'm like, yeah, ICOs are dead. This is bullshit. Like, SHIB launched, it pumped, it dumped, right? Like, I'm reading like notes, and it's like, it's kind of funny to go back to that and realize you're just in the same part of the cycle where it's kind of so boring. You're like, when is it actually going to start? And then it's going to start, and you're not going to be ready for it.
All right, Coach K, we're at question 7 now. Which cryptocurrency is often called, quote, the Internet of Blockchains because of its interoperability between different blockchains? Is that A, Cosmos, B, Chainlink, C, Polkadot, or D, Cardano?
Internet of Blockchains, Cardano, or no, Polkadot? I don't know, man. I'm stumped. Shit. Internet of Blockchains. Just sounds very Cardano-y sounding. I don't know.
What are the two in your mind that you're weighing right now?
Like Cardano or Polkadot. Just something tells me one or the other. I don't know why I lean more towards Cardano. So I'm going to go Cardano.
Final answer?
Yeah.
It's just like the other question. It's actually Polkadot in this instance. The Internet of Blockchains.
See, like, at least
Very
I know
close.
I'm on the right path. I just
Exactly.
Can't commit to what I'm thinking here.
Okay, next question here. Which is the latest RWA project, that's real world assets, of course, to strike up a major deal with BlackRock? And this has been, the source of a lot of buzz for the space, probably unsurprisingly. So is that A, Ondo Finance, B, Pendle, C, Mantra, or D, Centrifuge?
I think it's Centrifuge. It's Centrifuge, right? I'm going Centrifuge.
Final answer?
Yeah.
So a bit of an obscure question. It was actually Ondo Finance here. They struck up a deal, this RWA project with BlackRock, which of course would argue like a major signal. BlackRock getting interested in tokenization and real world assets, getting into the space. That's certainly going to provide like a boost long term as they, develop the Biddle fund, as they involve themselves more and more. Is this like this gateway drug for institutions beyond BlackRock? But like, are RWAs really like the next big thing that's going to validate, that's going to standardize the world of crypto? What are your thoughts about this generally? Because I think it has a lot of promise as a space if we execute the right way.
I think it makes it a lot more transparent, like dark pools and all this other stuff, right? So it'd make things a lot more transparent, easier for them to tax. Basically, it's a better way of doing property management. You can validate it that it's real, not fake deeds on properties and all this other stuff that happens for scams. So, kind of cleans things up, and it's really easy to organize everything as well. So, I don't know, record keeping wise, and keeping people's privacy, and then being able to share like more detailed updates about whatever that asset is. I think that's pretty cool. I think that could be very big. And if BlackRock wants it to happen, I mean, you always follow the money. Like if you don't follow the money, you're doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Like follow people who have trillions of dollars of assets that have been consistently making money forever. These people will make you money too, whether you like them or not. Doesn't matter.
All right, Coach K, next question here. We're at number 9 already. We're going to ask you about a European crypto haven, I guess. It's similar to Silicon Valley. Which European country specifically is known to contain this so-called crypto valley? Is that A, the Netherlands, B, Germany, C, France, or D, Switzerland?
Switzerland. Zug, no?
I was going to ask you bonus question if you can name it, but I don't have to. Yeah, Switzerland is exactly correct. So well
Boom.
done.
Let's go.
Here we are at the end of the questions already. We're at question 10. So Coach K, here we are to finish up. Which cryptocurrency is often referred to as, quote, the sleeping giant due to its long-standing presence and potential for growth in DeFi, in decentralized finance? The sleeping giant. Is that A, Tezos, B, Aave, C, Cardano, or D, Cosmos?
So it has to be Cardano. Like Charles Hoskinson, like 7 years ago or something, maybe even longer now, was at a conference, and I went up to him and I'm like, why does it take you so long to have your blockchain launch? And this is like 2018, I think. And he's like, yeah, we're making the Lambo of blockchains, right? And I'm like, really? Then like, why when you actually launched it, was it a cardboard Lambo? It didn't work. It's terrible. So I'm going to go with Cardano.
Final answer?
Final answer, yeah.
Yeah, it is indeed Cardano. They're very diligent about what they do. They're very structured, scientific, I guess, the way they describe it. But Coach K, what can I say? We had some tricky questions. We had some easier questions. You did very, very well in this, your inaugural episode of Do You Even Crypto? So congratulations. My hat's off to you. And to the Altcoin Buzz viewers and subscribers out there, I think you've probably already heard about Coach K. If you haven't, I really do urge you to follow this guy. He gives some of the best macro tips out there. I think that's by my assessment, by his own admission, that's probably his strongest skill or skill set, being able to kind of take a look at the big picture, get that perspective, distill it down into practical, pragmatic tips and analysis. So again, entrepreneur, YouTuber, pretty prolific X poster, tweeter. You can follow Coach K Crypto on X/Twitter, whatever you call it. So, hey, Coach K, really, really happy to have you here on the show. You did very, very well. And hey, you keep doing what you do, man. I like the fact that you're outspoken. I like the fact that you're speaking, not necessarily like off the cuff, but you're candid, you're blunt, you say it like it is based on your analysis. That's objectivity. I think we need more of that in this space. And beyond just being authentic and real, like you're actually pretty good in your analysis, in your assessment, and you're accurate. So thanks once again, man, for being here. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Mehdi. It was a pleasure to be on here. So if you're someone who wants to follow me, just on X, I do a lot of posts about like where the market's at, some major macro analysis. I do that to kind of help you be calm in the times where you're most scared, and be greedy to take profit when you're being greedy. So to help you understand that emotional thing and kind of understand the waves. So I'm not trying to I'm not really trying to push people into stuff that they're not really understanding, and teach you about risk management. So there's a lot of value that I'll bring to you just by trying to help you. And I don't need to. I do it because I really enjoy. Like, I was a teacher before. I was in crypto, and I like using those skills and helping other people in this space.